everyone, I'm Steve the Maori and welcome to DirtWorX, a politically incorrect show about all things Speedway, both at Baypark and around the country. Tonight we've got this regular guy, a guy with the biggest head in Speedway other than myself, Mr. Brent Emerson. Brent, how are you, bud?
Welcome, Steve. I'm good, thanks.
That's excellent. Now, I said I think it was 8:30. It's now quarter to 11. Emerson time yet again.
Don't exaggerate.
Don't exaggerate?
No.
That's a big word for a Māori. That's almost like wheelbarrow.
It is, mate, and if you don't shut up, I'll turn those fans on that wind and I'll blow you right out of the place.
You guys and your wind issues. As I've said to a number of people, be very, very careful because to make noise, you have to make wind and I will take your voices away. Now, you got a new shirt?
Well, it is. It's still the same design.
Shane McIntyre turns up with his Hypermac one the other day.
They were gay, weren't they?
No comments?
That's good.
That's quite nice. He's done a good job. Another one from Tony?
Yes.
From Visual
Effects.
He got it right this time.
Yeah.
All right. Enough about you. Let's talk to another man. Look, we've been told off for having not enough people that race anything other than super saloons. And of course, we've got Goat here who can't race for shit in any class, but I found another man next to him. A man who used to race the 11M mini stock, now racing the 81M, third generation racer, Sam Waddell. Hey Sammy, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
So Sammy, we've got lots of, you've brought a support crew.
Yep, brought my dad along.
You brought your dad, who's he? Here he is, we've got a 2 times New Zealand Super Saloon Car champion, the driver of the 81M Phantom chassis, Dean Waddell. Dean, welcome along.
Thanks, Steve. Great to be here.
Well, it's been a busy day for all of us, I guess, and I know that it's been pretty tough, you guys having to wait here for a couple of hours for Emo to show up, so if I could just apologise for that.
About the same amount of time it takes to get to the demo grid, actually.
See, that's
All the meeting.
all the meeting.
Right, yeah, but who carries the checkered flag at the end? I wonder.
Actually, from what I've seen last season, it was Sam.
Yeah, he probably beat all of us.
Beating people? That seems like something that a Maori would do.
Well, he probably, not beating up. I got it wrong there. He probably got more checkered flags than his father last year, I would say.
How many checkered flags did you get? You got a few, didn't you?
Oh, only a couple.
Only a couple. Now you got them at Baypark and you managed to do a little bit of racing at other tracks as well?
Yeah, at Huntley.
And you've raced, you obviously, first season last year in the ex-Brody Abrahamson mini stock.
Yep.
Quite convenient that Brody ended up taking Dad's old Kevin Moore chassis and he's now racing that as a saloon car.
Yeah, yep.
So, are you expecting to maybe make a step up like Brody has into a saloon car or maybe a super like Dad?
Hopefully, next season.
See, look, how's this?
We haven't discussed that, Steve, so that's
That's the whole point of the show, I guess, is to discuss things like that. So
it's all news to me, mate.
I think second generation's just got to come along, doesn't it?
Third, mate, third.
third generation, of course, and as you say, it is a third generation after, well, Granddad or Dad, Dave.
So what Sam has to realise, there's a lot of veggies to fill up, mate, before he can go speedway racing. He's probably got about 15 pallets of bananas to pull out and a couple of containers of grapes and...
That's
He's
right,
got
mate.
a bit of water to go under the bridge yet.
You seem to know a little bit about your fruit and veggies.
Who's that?
Well, both of you. Now, Sam, what do you do? You go to school, of course, at Bethlehem College?
Yep.
And you do a bit of part-time work anywhere?
Yeah, New World.
New World, is that the one at the Mount?
No, Brookfield.
Brookfield, New World. It's just convenient, I just had to ask that one there. So, you work at Brookfield, New World during the, just after school? And
Yeah, after schools and on Sundays.
how do the staff treat you there?
Oh, it's a bit of respect.
With respect. That's good to see. Talking about respect, well, we've got to be a bit more respectful than we have been in previous shows, because Mr. Waddell, he's...
Mister, what do you want?
Well,
Is there something you're after?
Well, I might ask him for money one day,
Was that you that stole, that was in the car park lurking around?
At Brookfield New World. Yeah. I have been to Brookfield New World recently. I could not believe that everything's all colour coordinated and things like that.
Yeah, we've seen you there. We watched you on the camera, Steve.
And watched every move of his hands.
But you're safe, mate. You're safe.
I am safe. That's
Yeah.
good. Now, of course, like Dean is actually, you've spent, I think you've been racing for almost 50 years. Is that right?
No, it's totally wrong.
I guess that Facebook one was wrong. Have you ever ended up in a chicken coop?
Yes, no, good point, Steve. Yeah, no, that was exciting times. Down at the in Kumeu, a horse racing track. They opened it up for a speedway meeting, and it had wooden rails. So it's very green in those days, and yeah, got a little bit wide, and ended up bursting through the fence and parking in the chicken coop. Great experience.
You seen the video, Sammy?
Yep.
Did he? Now I heard that there's a lot of screaming in the background.
Yeah.
Who was that?
I'm not too sure.
Was it bald? Was he too old for that, or too young for that?
Nah, too young.
He's probably thinking I've got a whole lot of repairs to do now.
Sam wasn't alive then, so he wouldn't have remembered anything, mate.
No, but it's amazing that footage has reappeared.
Yeah.
But we're not going to be playing that tonight. Now, of course, you race a 430 something cubic inch.
Cubic inch, 410, 430s for Emo, mate. They're the big horsepower boys, eh?
Whatever.
We're only 413.
Well, I guess when you can't get traction like those love ladies in the Hypermax, you don't need as, you know.
No shortage of traction in the Phantom department.
So, of course, that's Brian Fraser who builds a Phantom chassis. He's also a show sponsor, so we've got to mention Brian. From Brian Fraser Engineering, 61 Malemi Street, for all those. Do you know his number?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've got his number on my phone. I'm personally
Yeah, but
connected.
see, I can pull out of my head 075411549 for all of your engineering goods.
No, I just turn up, mate. To complain at the front door.
What's the conversation like at home with you know, is there nothing but speedway talk, Sam?
Oh, it's a little bit about fishing.
Fishing. Look, let me ask Sam this question. When Dad has taken you out fishing, who has caught the biggest fish?
Me.
No, that's
Thank
not
you.
right, Steve.
Thank you.
That's not right, Steve.
What was it?
Go on, let your son have one.
So what'd you catch? I couldn't catch a cold.
Probably snapper.
Snapper?
Yep.
All right, go on, Dean. What have you caught?
No, mate, I haven't.
Actually, let's last week we had to go to Emerson's and we had to go up and catch up with that Whitianga boy Craig Richards because you guys, you know, were unable to get you on the show because you were
Fishing.
fishing and down the west coast.
Yeah.
And I heard you caught the biggest, the most massive, the hugest.
Well, we enjoyed our time on the water down there. It was fantastic. There's some lovely Korean and Russian hokey fishing boats. The mountains looked awesome. We're there for the scenery.
How many fish?
How many fish? About 8. Not quite what we wanted to catch, but
Was that the bait that you were using?
the bait. I always,
Live
it's just
baits.
like, it's kind of like Speedway, Steve. The crew weren't performing.
Yeah. Now, what,
The
Sam?
man never blames his tools.
Oh, well, the crew use the tools though.
Oh.
Sam, you got a crew?
Yeah.
Few?
Yep.
You got a girlfriend?
No.
No.
Good man. Keep
You got a
racing.
Facebook page that people can stalk you on?
Yep.
There we go. So all those young ladies out there that need a a good-looking boy like Sam, and it's good to see he's getting his teeth nice and straight. So very good. No, you're too young to do that, of course, aren't you?
And he's good with veggies.
He's good with. Of course, Sam. If you and Dad were to get into a race car, maybe a Super Saloon right now, who would win?
Me.
Yeah.
Very confident.
Do you think you could? You could smoke the old man?
Very, very confident.
When are you going to do that?
When he lets me.
That's why he's not going to let you, buddy.
Now, of course.
It's been a long time.
But of course, Sam, to do that, you'd need to have 2 Super Saloons.
Yeah.
How many cars has Dad got?
2.
No, that's not right. We've only got 1. Sam's disillusioned. He's been looking in the wrong shed.
How many mini stocks you got, Sam?
2.
Okay. How many championships have you won, Dean?
Oh, I'm not sure.
So, what about you, Emo? How many championships have you won?
Oh.
And how many times have you guys all won the New Zealand Grand Prix?
0. 0.
So what I'm thinking is that next year Sam's going to get in there because, like I actually got I spoke to Shane McIntyre today and he said, he was mentioning, maybe Sam would come in and actually, do what Dad used to do and drive fast.
Sounds good.
Sounds good?
The older I get, the better I was. Is that what you're trying to imply?
Well, yeah. The prettier you were as well, Emo. Dean, you used to run a Courier?
Yeah, our first car, well, our very first car was built by Metameta Engineering, which is the guy, Morris's crew guy, John, I think, in the early days. Yep.
And then after that you had 2 Harrises?
Then we had a new Courier.
Was it a Monza?
Brought down under the mountain, meet Mr. Courier. He was a legend in those days. Very,
Sandals.
yeah, great
What's that
learning
about
curve.
sandals?
or he just wore sandals. Didn't matter if it was freezing minus 10 degrees in the middle of winter. And I just want to say Peter is a legend. You know, we learned a lot off Peter. He taught us a lot about maintenance and how the cars work, and has done a lot for the sport. And then we went to Harris.
Of course, there's Peter and Linda, and they've both done a lot, haven't they, for within Speedway?
Absolutely, yeah. They've dedicated, I suppose you'd say, their life to it, really. At the time, everyone was running Kuriga cars. You know, the Fletchers, they were winning. You might remember that, Goat, way back.
Yep.
I love how they said you might remember when the Fletchers were winning.
I don't know how old you are, Goat, but...
At your age, Ben.
And so you won 2 New Zealand championships in 2 different Harris chassis.
That's correct.
And of course you won the first one in Gisborne, I think it was, which was a run-off with Morris Callan.
Yeah, no, you're well informed, Steve.
I seem to know. Yeah, now that was after a big crash.
Yeah, no, that's quite important to us, that championship, because about 4 or 5 weeks prior to that, we had a major crash at Baypark, which Graham's got the pictures in there, and we destroyed the car, and I was in hospital for 3 days, and all the first thing I wake up is Bald's tapping me on the shoulder and say, look out the window, and I look out the window of the hospital, and there's the bare chassis sitting down in the car park. So while I was getting conscious over a day, they were stripping the car down, and they were taking it to Harris to be to be fixed up. And so we had the car back, within about a couple of weeks. And so it was a junk, it was a pile of junk. And Harris and obviously the guys put it together, and we came back and to win a New Zealand title 2 or 3 weeks later was, great.
What colour, which car was that? Was that the pink car?
That was
The cruise car?
the red cruise car.
Have you ever had a pink car, eh?
No, I've never had a pink car.
Right,
Who would have a black and pink car?
Let's get my cameraman to just zoom into this shot here. Right in front of us, we've got the 81M car with pink on it. Like, I could understand if Kristen Vermeulen wants to wear pink, or Nigel Ross, but Dean Waddell with... Nigel Mould, of course. Yeah, he'd be good at that too. Pink car. Talk us through why the pink.
Well, it's a long time ago. We're probably without our main sponsor, Shape and Spray, Jeff from Shape and Spray, who's had a lot to do with our designs over the years. I can't really say anything more, Steve.
What was he thinking is all I say.
What I also noticed was that he's gone for that retro look with the white wheels.
I hate white wheels, eh? Yeah.
What a look! The first Phantom, which was of course last year's car, that would look nice with chrome, eh?
It would have been fantastic with chrome.
But it's too much what? Do you know what it is, Sammy? What, too much weight, unsprung weight. See, this guy's pretty classy. He's gonna...
Well, mate, I'm afraid to say Love Ladies have got chrome wheels, have done for years, and probably got the lightest wheel out there. Moving on.
How many championships have the Love Ladies won in the New Zealands?
One, by me.
Hey, let's talk this guy up. And who built the engine? Who was the last person to build their own engine and win the champs, Goat?
I don't know. Probably me, was it?
Yeah. And that was after the same sort of thing, you blew it up because of poor maintenance. Maybe you should have listened to Kuriga.
Wasn't poor maintenance.
And you blew it up and fixed it, and then you flicked it off last week.
It's gone. Oh, it's never gone yet.
Now I hear it, was it that engine that was running around in Paddy Tonga with your little man?
No, he hasn't got the motor yet, no.
So what about the Waddells? I know you've both tested in Paddy Tonga from time to time. Yeah? You went out there and we decided to play demolition derbies at one stage with Mark Dunn in the ATM car, smashing into each other. What do you learn from actually hitting people when you're out there on the track? I mean, does it help you to know that when somebody's leaning on you at Bay Park that, okay, I've done this before, this is okay?
Yep.
Man, there's a lot. The 8M car from last season, where's that gone to now? That was a fast car.
Yeah, it's gone to the workshop, yep.
61 Marlene Street.
Yep.
That was a really, really good looking car, but we've got, you're going to do the same as Dad and have that retro Jeff Fletcher looking red and white sort of thing that he had last season, or are we looking at doing something different?
Doing something different.
Yeah? Have you got black wheels?
No.
Has Dad got black wheels now?
I'm not sure.
Has Dad got black wheels now?
Absolutely. We wanted chrome, but Goat's got chrome, so we thought we'd go black.
Yeah, and of course too much unsprung weight. What does that mean? I don't know what unsprung weight is.
It's like light-fingered Maoris.
Back on a Paddy Tonga, because I've got to look. You've got to have these things called segues. I'll tell you about it shortly. So, Paddy Tonga, you both raced at Paddy Tonga. You've raced your mini stock, of course. Have you raced the new mini stock there as well?
Yep, a couple of times.
And you did that while you were the owner of it, or are you the owner of it, or does Dad still think he owns it?
He still thinks he owns it.
You should swap him for that red car.
I should.
I think you could make it fly.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Do you know what's going on in the back end of Dad's car? Because nobody will tell anyone, and maybe you might.
No, I can't see under there.
No, you're not really that tall. I thought you'd see straight in.
Some secrecy.
So, Dean, you've of course had quite a few skids at Paddy Tonga. I believe that the people of Paddy Tonga are thinking about changing it to Waddell Speedway.
I don't know. I'm not sure about it, Steve. We haven't been there that much, but yeah, it's great to have the opportunity to go there and run. You know, go back 10, 15 years ago. You know, you couldn't get any practice time anywhere, could you?
Practice days were like the start of the season. You might get 1 or 2, and then it was all go. Just go out cold turkey every night, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So
Practice in someone's street or paddock.
Well, you're a goat, and a goat's a fit for a paddock, so I guess you've probably done that.
Yeah, climb anywhere.
So it's a great place to make sure the crew have tightened up all the nuts and bolts on the car, and you know that nothing's going to fall off before you go racing.
I suppose maybe I don't know if there's anyone's done that, but have you ever heard of anyone maybe debuting their car at Paddy Tonga or going out for its first test session and then ditching it on its roof?
No, I never heard of anything like that.
It's quite funny. We've got an audience tonight with 30, 40 people, and they're all giggling right now like there's somebody doesn't know something. Do you know anything, Go?
Not at all. No, I'm not quite sure.
I heard that Phantom number, someone from the crowd was a flyer and went on its roof, got sucked into the tyres like McClomont's car, who's a 1NZ, so maybe that was part of why they did it. And same place, same tyre.
Must be a magnet in here.
Yeah, it must be a magnet for bugger that, because McClomont then raced that car. Young McClomont, you guys are sort of in that Brookfield area, so is he. I suppose there's a bit of a, I know he looks up to you a lot, and he sort of thinks that you're not too bad a racer.
Haley's a great customer. We love seeing Luke and the kids.
And
in
Emma,
the store.
yeah.
No, great, awesome competitor.
He's won the New Zealand champs twice as well. What's the go with this 2 thing? Next week I might as well wear a 2-2. How's that? Dropping that one in there, eh? Now, of course, I think it was last season you raced at Paddy Tonga, you tested at Paddy Tonga, got to jump in behind the wheel of an open wheeler. Yeah,
we had 10 or so laps in a sprint car, which we've driven before. They're awesome machines.
Now, I believe you've also raced a midget in the past as well.
Yeah, my first season was in a midget.
Was that at the Springs or at Baypark?
No, it was at Baypark. We kind of didn't really get going that well. We had the wrong steer mechanically, so we ended up more time parked on the trailer than actually competing. In those days, midgets were strong at Baypark.
That's right. I always remember Tony Christensen had a Porsche engine, and I thought that was really cool, and then worked out that Porsches are just a rebadged Volkswagen. Yeah. Now, of course, cutting back to the Paddy Tonga, recently I spoke to another man who has tested at Paddy Tonga, and that is in the 56A J.A. Russell sprint car. And of course that's the man they call Carl Wilson, who's gone out and built his own Carson chassis. Carl is campaigning out of Western Springs this season, and in the weekend I got a chance to have a chat to him and talk about this new chassis that he's built. So let's go and see what he's doing. Sorry guys, I'm doing a bit of a Springs interview, and I thought it'd be perfect for you guys to see that awesome t-shirt that I've got. It's a Jamie McCarthy t-shirt saying, "We've got Jamie." Carl Wilson, how are you, mate?
Good to be here.
Hey, look, thank you for letting me be up here in the sunny, wonderful, beautiful conditions that is Auckland.
4 seasons in one day in Auckland, so...
Hey, that was a good song.
Yeah, it was.
Crowded something.
Crowded house, I think.
Not a crowded house now, but it was going to be later because you're unveiling a new toy.
Yeah, we've got a new chassis here that we're unveiling, basically a new team that we've done ourselves and we've rolled out, so be a few people here later on and we're looking forward to it.
I got to say, these are some nice shirts. Check this out.
Come out well.
They've come out quite nice. There's a bit of carbon in there.
Yeah.
So how much is carbon's in the car?
There's a few carbon fibre caps here and there and strengthening bits and pieces, not too much really. But
So of course, guys, hey look, this is the 56A Pilot and the Chester's, Carson, Impact Photographics. He's got some name, KBL, J.A. Russell. We've got, and Valvoline sponsored car, a home-built car. Well, not a home-built, but a south-built.
yeah, home built sounds terrible, doesn't it? But yeah, we've made our own cars. Something we've always wanted to do, and it'll be all right. We've already had a test run at Tauranga, and that worked out really well for us. So we're just take each day as it comes, and each it'll be a bit of a learning curve, but we'll just push away at it.
Now you mentioned Tauranga, of course. When you got there, you're not just a sprint car chassis builder. You used to build some TQ stuff, and the very first TQ that you built was actually there.
The very first car we ever built was there, and that was pretty amazing. So for us, it was just there's no way you could even jack that up. But it was pretty amazing, and when we rolled out there, and there's the other car there. For me, it just proved that we did the right thing by building the sprint car. It was like deja vu sort of thing.
Well, it's certainly a good-looking car, and you know, I like what you've done with the sign writing. A little bit different from previous seasons.
Yeah. We've got a couple of different sign writers have helped us, and we had some ideas for a little while, and everyone's had a bit of an input here and there, and it's come out really well. I was looking forward to getting out on the track.
Let's talk a little bit about the car. You said before that it's actually lighter than the J&J, a little bit heavier than a Maxim.
Yeah, as far as the chassis goes, it's lighter than the J&J, and I believe it's stronger and safer with a few of the other bars that I've got involved in it. So it's a little, and it's heavier than a Maxim, but it's in between there.
You got to say, look, this is how unprofessional it is. I've got bloody glasses on my head.
Yeah, here you go.
Now they've bounced around. Thank you, Victoria Pickett, who's in the background.
Some safety glasses.
Those are safety glasses, actually. They're about $3. Oh, sorry, they're about $6 a pair. I almost gave my cost away. I think I just did.
The plug for work, is it?
Well, no, not really.
Yeah.
So, look. So, what else has been happening, mate? You're the 08 champion for the.
Yep. So we did with the 08 champion, then we're the 09 track champion at Western Springs. We haven't had much consistency the last couple of years. We've had some terrible seasons and some career-ending crashes that we've come out of. So hopefully we just battle on, and this is what we do, is what we love. And even though we've had some bad times, we just want to get back to where we've been.
I feel quite happy that I actually noticed some of the changes that differed, like some of the bars, etc., that are a little bit different. I guess I have got a tiny amount of sprint car knowledge.
All that stuff that people have been saying about you is all rubbish. You are quite knowledgeable.
Well, that just means I'm a know-it-all.
Well, that might be true.
Big mouth.
Yeah, sort of.
Face the radio.
But no, you do know your stuff. He knows his stuff.
Look, it's only because I cleaned a lot of the sprint cars over the time. I never really did anything else. Although I did set up a car, I think it was last season before, and the guy went out and won a feature.
There you go.
I'm not going to say his name. Mark Wheel.
Yeah.
Now, you, of course, race up in Auckland, at Western Springs.
Yes.
I always call it a goat track, but it certainly it proves who the drivers really are.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty tough when you're having a good run. Everything's going well for you, and it's can get pretty rough. And on a night when it's tacky and rough, and there's a lot of cars, like a big international night, man, you really know you're alive then. But it does bring out the drivers. It seems like all the top drivers in New Zealand end up coming out of there for the most part.
Yeah.
So you just got to get amongst it, really.
Well, I think when you say the top drivers, of course, I think there's only been Rodney Wood and Ben Finney outside of the Springs who've done any winning in your class in probably 20 years, other than the Americans that they buy in.
Yeah, and you see a lot of the Christchurch drivers are trying to contract to Western Springs now. They want to get amongst it as well. And
You got young Duff, I think it is.
yeah, Duff, and obviously Karen's been up, and there's I think there might be a few others coming up as well this year. So yeah, it's just it's unfortunate, but it just seems to be you've got to get there and get amongst it. Otherwise, you're just not going to have the race knowledge and the experience to sort of be on the pace you need to win.
Now, of course, I'm a Baypark boy. You're so used to running on this tight track that is Western Springs, or the Springs Speedway, of course, and then you come down to Baypark. Do you find that you've got so much more room?
Yeah,
and
that's awesome. I'd love to contract there and, to be quite honest, and run there full time, but
Roger Bailey, pay this guy more money.
Yeah.
Sorry, Karen.
but we're just the sponsors are all based in Auckland, and they just want us to stay there, and until such time as we sort of lose all our Auckland sponsors, we'll have to stay there. And, yeah, when you go to Baypark, it's like running on a half mile or a mile after the Springs. But love it down there.
Now, you say running on a half mile. Of course, you've done Knoxville before. You've travelled outside of New Zealand and raced.
Yeah, went to Knoxville, did that. That didn't go as well as I'd like, but did that. And then I raced in Australia on the high bank, well, not the high bank, but the banked Archerfield.
Archerfield, that's in Brisbane?
Yep. And that went pretty well there. And so I've done a bit of stuff.
And of course, now you talking about Australia, you've been doing a little bit of work over there.
Yep, did a bit of work over there for Todd Wanless, and that worked out pretty well. They asked me to go over and stay full time, but I didn't want to do that because it was going to end my driving career. So I was sort of just going to go over when I can and help them out when I can and get knowledge off them. I've already got a bit of stuff off them, and it's good. It's good to get out there and see what's out there and see the professional operations and bring some ideas back. And
now you tell the pretty big trailer, but of course you talk about the professional outfits. Those guys, their trailers in the States are colossal, and of course in Australia.
Yeah, well, they got one big semi for their race car and the bits and pieces, and a lot of them, the rest of them have got a media trailer as well, just for all their media stuff, and then they'll have a team back home wherever they base themselves with a big shop where they've got all the cars lined up, ready to go, and yeah.
I remember talking about 8 years ago to PJ Chesson, who was racing out of Bay Park, and I spoke to him at a pub one day when he was messed up, and he said that he builds 8 cars at the start of the season. Was what he was doing back then. So of course it's got to be even bigger now.
Yeah, well that's definitely it. You can see pictures of Tony Stewart's shop and bits and pieces. They have 8, 10, 11 cars lined up. As soon as they need one, they got to get it. They can't, and it's so professional and so tight with the results. You can't afford to be running on a car you've wrecked or repaired, so they end up just rolling another one out and put that other one, sell that other one off they've just wrecked or whatever, So
look, without getting into trouble, and we're talking about what's happening overseas and that, we've got the Sammy Swindell, current champion. I've spoken before with you about the possibility of Kinser turning up this season as part of a Ron Salter deal. What's your take on having the outside drivers, the guys coming in from overseas and racing with our local guys for our local championship?
It's definitely good when you look at a golf thing or a tennis thing. You see the Americans or the international people in it, and without the international people in the golf or the tennis, New Zealand Tennis Open or something, it wouldn't be anything, would it? But I do believe that there should be like a New Zealand Championship, and there should be a New Zealand Open, in all classes. So, and you could run that one day apart, so that the international guys are there. Say Sammy Swindell wins the New Zealand Open. The next night is the New Zealand Sprintcar Champs, and the New Zealand guys can show what they've learnt from that New Zealand Open, and then you end up with your New Zealand champion. But then there's also a New Zealand Open, and that's winner, and that's what they have in Australia, and that's what I believe it should be.
Now, of course, we're coming into a new season, new car, new shirts, new everything. Obviously, the same crew, and probably a few others maybe.
Yep.
But what are your goals? What are you aspiring to do this season?
One of the things that the year that we won, had all our success, we basically concentrated on ourselves and just finishing. And that sounds pretty average and mediocre, but when we finish the races, you're doing more laps, and you're getting the points for the points championship, and by the time you get to the championship, you're actually up to speed and doing really well. So to that end, this season we just want to finish as many races as we can, and obviously we want to do as well as we can. But the way that I describe it is, so we're just going to ambush the season. We're just going to keep finishing races until such point where we're sort of at the top and other guys are searching around. We're just going to get ourselves to a settled base, finish races, and just enjoy it as well. I mean, the other thing, the last couple of seasons we haven't enjoyed it at all because we've been running so bad. So just got to finish races, enjoy it, and results will come. I think.
That's fantastic. Hey, look, thank you very much for allowing us to be part of the unveiling of this beautiful new Carson Sprint Car chassis, the 56A car. He's going to be running out of Western Springs, so make sure you guys watch him. Of course, he's going to be at Bay Park, I hope, this season.
Absolutely.
And look, Carl Wilson, good luck for the season.
Just finished an interview with Carl Wilson. That car's a flyer, Carl Wilson's. You've got to see this thing. It is amazing. Dean, you've raced at probably every track in the country, I guess.
Probably not everyone, but most of them, yeah.
Is there anyone that springs to mind that you haven't raced at then?
Greymouth.
What about Waharoa?
I've been there, but haven't raced there.
I bet you sort of wanted to, though, eh?
No, not at all.
Waihi Beach?
Yep.
Really?
Not race, but practice there.
Have you?
Yep.
You've done Waihi Beach as well?
Yep.
You smoke everyone there as well?
I won my first races here.
Really?
Yep.
Oh. Now, one track, I don't know if you've raced that, but I know that you've actually had a skid at the old Mary High Bank.
Oh, mate, that was awesome. Yeah, they were great days. That place was as fast as you were ever going to get. Banked racetrack, when the racetrack was good, you could run wide open around there, which is obviously you can't do anywhere else in New Zealand. The atmosphere was good. They had the wedges there in the early days, so they were, the first of the American wedges, which is obviously, what Morris is trying to get going in New Zealand, the rear steer. So it was kind of the wedges against the Super Saloon guys, and fast and great, good days.
Do you have a favourite track out there?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've got a number of favourite tracks, but Dunedin would be my favourite.
Really? Wow, didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Of course, you won your second championship. I think it was at Palmerston North, which is extremely fast track, but must be pretty hard on the setup because it was.
Yeah, Palmy is very skinny and very flat, but it can get a two-lane racetrack, and it was a two-lane racetrack the year we won. Do you want me to talk about that? I could talk about it all night long.
Tell me about when you won the your second championship in Palmerston North.
Oh, would you like me to talk about that, Steve?
I'd love to hear it.
Fantastic.
So it started with.
Well, it started with a real poor performance on Friday night.
Started with a kiss.
No, there's no kissing on Friday night. There's a lot of stressed out people trying to figure out what to bolt on and what to do. You're not, Steve, you're not engaged. You're not engaged. Shall we talk about your racing career?
Yeah, look, it's about as quick as I've just spoken now. So, yeah, carry on. So, of course, you had the Friday night and you didn't go very well. And then after that, you were amazing?
No, I wasn't amazing. My crew were very, very... We had a think tank. We had Roger Bertram, 10 times New Zealand champion.
That's the guy who builds your engines now?
Yeah, Roger's still building our engines. Yeah, he's a legend. Yep. And he's going to dyno our engine this year for us for the first time. He reckons we've got 650. So that's going to be interesting.
That's less than Brent McClellan's got in his saloon car.
Oh, no. Roger assures me that he's found some books in the back of his garage about valve angles or something. So, but no, we had a think tank. We had Neil Head. We had Roger. We had obviously my guys Shane and Jeff and Ken, and we just looked at this pile of shit and thought we have to do something here. We're either going to be spat out the back or we're going to be good. And we changed half a dozen things, and the car was good, fast.
I see you must have got all the talking from Mum, Sam. 27 car of Morris Cowling. He was the first person to win at the new track at Bay Park. Now, Emo, you should know that. Who won the last race at the old Bay Park track?
Dean Waddell?
No. Any other Bay Park car?
Wasn't around.
Well, you are now. Was it, do you know, Sam?
No.
Dan, come on, you've got to tell me.
Well, I had no idea.
What class are we talking about?
Super Saloons, what was the last race at the old Bay Park track? Surely were you in the infield?
All I remember about the last meeting was a huge bonfire of tyres being burnt in the pits till about 5 in the morning.
We'll talk about that shortly, actually, about these tyres. But okay, look,
They were great days, Steve. Do you want to talk about Bay Park in the early 80s?
in the old days. I know, it was great. Because that's when you guys were getting
Jeff
smoked by
Fletcher.
Bruce Beaumont. Alleyway bargains.
No, I don't remember that.
Okay, let's go for the last winner again. Was in the Drycon Instant Concrete, the 61M of...
Kevin Fillingham.
Well done. Took you long enough.
Yeah.
He's
Good guy. Mate, he typifies the sport. Kevin was totally underfunded and totally passionate, and he would race everywhere every weekend and twice a weekend, and he'd have things falling off that thing, and he'd be gluing stuff on and just to race, what makes a true New Zealand racer. Probably a bit like Goat, really. Yeah, and like things falling off and gluing stuff on, but that's different this year, I believe.
Yeah,
Goat falls off the track. Probably have a driver that you really respect that you've raced with in the past, or maybe now. Maybe. It's probably not a lot.
Well, no one in this room at the moment.
That's because we've never raced together, but I have raced the Phantom. Sorry, carry on.
Hey, there's been lots of great drivers over the years. I kind of, it's a bit of a, probably not uncommon, but Blondie Chamberlain would have to be someone that I've always admired the way he can race a race car in pretty heavy conditions, and yet when the racetrack's dusted off, he can be as smooth as you're ever going to find.
Was it an ugly Rover? I mean, it was beautiful, but it was just dead ugly. Yeah. Brian Hartley actually raced that after him, didn't he?
Did he buy that one? There was 2.
Were they both as ugly as each other?
He got 2.
Look, I'm sorry, they were ugly cars. They were like the Monzas or Loveladies Hypermax, just ugly cars.
What do you call a good-looking car?
Dean's car. Phantom chassis. Hey, bit of a change, I believe. You want to talk about maybe the change to the front nose of the car this year, because you actually want to make it look like not a saloon car.
Well, yeah, we kind of looked at the car and we looked at the white wheels, which we've had since the early 80s, and we looked at the front bumper, the wedge.
From Jeff Fletcher's Crystal Lounge days. Carry on.
Yeah, so we just kind of thought, well, hey, most other divisions are updating, and so we need to. So yeah, we invested in another $100 front clip to try and make it look a little bit faster. If it looks fast, it will be fast, Steve.
Exactly. Your car looks fast, mate. Well, it did last year. Is it going to be fast this year?
Hopefully.
Big changes? Of course, you've got a whole new chassis. Well, a whole new chassis engine package change, haven't you?
Yep.
So you're going to go out there and dominate.
Hopefully.
Who's going to be the drivers to watch in your class this year?
Probably Aiden Dickey and Brad Marsh.
Bradley Marsh, he's a good-looking boy. Young Marshmallow. We're going to get him on the show at some stage. What school does he go to? Does he still go to school?
He goes to Otamoto.
Oh, he's one of those Oates boys.
Yeah.
When are you guys going to learn? You go to Mount College. That was a good school. Mount College education. You two could have no education like me. You could be a sixth form dropout and be sort of gagging at some sort of really non-PC show and not having anything to do with the supermarket. You think there's a chance for you?
Possibly.
Your father is absolutely disgusted in you right now. But you can still smoke him, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like, what happens at home? Does Dad spend a lot of time on the computer, I hear, researching?
Yep.
Yeah?
His iPad every night, fun the TV.
Really? iPad?
Yeah.
iPhone?
So he doesn't talk to you.
What sort of phone have you got?
Samsung.
Galaxy?
Why?
Oh.
Yeah.
And you've got an iPhone, I guess.
Have I got an iPhone, Sam?
Do you know how to text, Dean?
No, Sam does my texts for me.
Okay, what about Facebooking? Have you got a Facebook page?
No, we call it Skype book at home.
Skype book?
Yeah.
I call it Steve book because Facebook's all about me.
But it could be Skype book. So
And what about tweeting? Do you know what tweeting is?
tweeting?
Yeah.
Yep. That's when I smack his butt because he's not doing what he's meant to do. He does a fair bit of tweeting.
I've got to ask Sam this question. Sam, do you know what Section 59A is?
No.
You were safe, Dean. Anti-smacking bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know about that one?
Should never been brought in.
Yeah.
So we got shitheads around there. Like
We talked about burning Hoosiers and American race. Well, no, that'd be McCreary's back then, back when Sam wasn't born and you guys were still about 40. So you burned a few tyres in the old track at Baypark?
Yeah, the final night it wasn't so much race car tyres. It was tractor tyres, all the rubber lying around the place. Sorry to bore you there.
no, it's okay. I'm just making sure nothing catches
No, it was a
the light and
fantastic
put it out.
night, Steve. I don't know. You would have. How old would you been in those days?
Oh, I don't know. I think I was about 14 or something.
Yeah. Mate.
Yeah, I was still walking around going, look, there's Mr. Waddell. One day he might know my name. What's my name?
What's Steve? The Maori, Steve the Maori.
Yay! That's what I'm talking about. So, talk on this. There's a big tyre battle, and we ask it every week. Hoosiers or American races?
GT radials.
Yeah, good boy. There we go. Neither of them. GT radials. What are you? Who's your left rear?
Depends on the conditions, Steve. Yeah, they're both good tyres for certain conditions.
Yeah, really. So that's so that you can keep TC's, your discount as low as it is, as well as keeping the Harris.
Obviously, you don't know TC very well. There's not much discounts.
Oh, he is discounting quite well lately.
I was up at TC's place the other, actually just on the weekend, and yeah, I see you guys do get taxed hard, because it is beautiful.
I know. I met one of the guys that built his house, actually. I met him in a bar in Auckland. And he asked me about Speedway, asked me if I knew TC, and said he'd been working on his house for about 3 years.
It looked like it needed that length of time to be built because it's that big. It looks like, it's like your shopping centre, only a larger version.
But he's got a lot of cars, so you need the garages.
And they're all red, and they've all got Tony on the number plate.
Exactly.
Apart from, of course, Di's car.
Yeah.
She's a lovely lady.
Very nice.
Yeah. They've got nice-looking kids. Would you ever consider getting earrings like, what's their daughter's name? Craig Cardwell.
Craig Cardwell, earrings. Well, I have considered it, yeah. But I went along and didn't really suit.
What about you, Sam? You're not going to do that, are you?
No.
Hey, Sam, you'd probably be able to tell me. Which one do you think's the best of the Jonas Brothers?
No.
Well, I just saw that. What about Justin Bieber, because you've got his hairdo?
No.
Yeah, but troll there.
Oh. Demi Lovato or Miley Cyrus?
Neither.
Which one would you have? Who's hot right now at your age? I mean, I don't mean to be a dirty old man. I am a lot younger than the old man and this old fella next to you. But you know, who are you young fellas sort of looking up to, going, I'd like to hold her hand.
Not sure.
Chris and Vermeulen. Look at that smile. She was an Aquinas girl, though, eh?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying a lot more now.
Obviously, he realises girls don't get you far in racing.
Really? Yeah, you are right. I will not elaborate at this stage, of course. So what else we're going to talk about? Because like this is.
Well, you keep going on about Dean's age. How old are you, Dean? Sorry for being so blunt, but how old are you?
42.
42.
45.
That's why we brought Sam along. And what do you got? You must be.
So
close
next
to
time
50.
I get my grid draw from Dean says, "Oh, you're starting on 2," or he's starting on 2, he's probably really back on 6.
Now, Sam, you've had a lot to do with sort of Dad's racing, I guess, being just dragged along to every speedway in the country. Now, you would have also been to a lot of his practices back in the early days, I guess, and I believe that Dad used to always hit the wall at practice time.
He wasn't born then, mate. You need to do your research.
What I love is that he isn't saying it didn't happen, so why don't you tell us about you hitting the wall often?
Oh,
You wanna blame the
I don't
tools?
recall that, Steve.
You want to blame the tools?
The tools. I never blame the tools, just the crew generally.
Yeah, it's funny, I put a microphone on the crew today. Is that what happened, boys?
I wasn't there.
You weren't there? You going to blame Ken?
I wasn't crew in those days.
Really?
Well, my theory always is if you hit the wall in practice or at the beginning of the night, at least you know where it is, you know where your parameters are. And that's
Thank you,
where
guys.
go to.
Thank you for the saving, mate.
Yeah, 2 times. 2 times. So, like, of course, you can't do it without your crew, and I know that you've, I heard you talking some little bit of smack, and you said you wouldn't say it outside of this room, so why don't we talk about your crew now, inside this room?
What do you want to know, Steve?
I guess, you know, we talk about Bald, and of course there's that painter guy, and
Jeff?
the Sparky dude, automotive dude.
Yeah.
The guy builds the chassis things, and Bald wouldn't do a lot though, would he?
Oh, like he turns up for the beer on Tuesday nights, you know, and so once I've cleaned everything and got everything bolted on, he comes in and helps me polish stuff, and we have a few beers, and yeah, no, I'm ready to do it all, most of it.
It must be pretty tough being Dean Waddell then, you know, having to do all that work all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
As well as juggling like a lot of other jobs and a lot of other bits and pieces that you're doing.
Well, by the time we get the bananas out about 6 o'clock, get to the race car about 6:30, start bloody screwing stuff on there and setting stuff up. It's quite stressful, Steve, but like, this show's not about me, so let's talk about something else.
Yeah, Sammy, do you eat your veggies? Mum and Dad make you eat your veggies? Now, do we find like, you've got steak on the table every night, or sometimes you're allowed chicken?
Everything, really.
Everything?
Yep.
Do you go into the supermarket with your own sort of, and just go along with a trolley and just start piling stuff in and just say, yeah, you know what you can't put that on?
Stick it on the
You ever
tab.
done that?
No, not really.
No? What do you think of your old man? You know, you've seen a lot of races. Who do you really sort of respect as a racer out there? Not necessarily who you've raced with, but, you know, maybe there's somebody out there, like Dad's mentioned Blondie Chamberlain and other people like that. Who do you want to be like one day?
Steve Merritt.
But, yeah. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Is there somebody that you've seen Dad race with? You know, is there someone that you've sort of hung out with at the track who's got hot daughters or something that you... Marty Halcrow.
Anyone, really. All the top guys, yeah.
Yeah? Who do you think that... He's just saying all those right words, eh? It's the sort of thing that you'd do, Emma.
Well, you got him on the spot
You've ever been put on the spot?
many times.
I don't think there's anything. I can't ask you questions because anything I can ask you is all bad stuff that we can't talk about on the show.
True.
Well, you were at Wellington in the SS car round last year, and you guys went home. You know what he did? Grabs one of Cardwell's Hoosiers and burns it.
That wasn't me. That was Cody.
Brody. Son's name's Brody.
Brody Jamison.
Brody Jamison.
Yeah, he was the shitbag that got all the cones and. So everyone wants to know it was him. All the cones, the railings off the fence. So now.
Donald Gregory's wheelie bin.
Donald Gregory's wheelie bin. Yeah, well, good job.
Hey, remember when you got smashed into at Napier by Gregory?
Little short fat bastard. Yeah.
I made you guys kiss and make up at the year before's SS car do.
You called him out there, but yeah.
Yeah, I called him out. You were too soft too. SS car, you're both running it this year?
Yes.
Yeah. And Sam. Sorry, Dean. Oh, sorry, have you signed up as well, Dean?
Yeah, no, well, I'm not sure that I've signed up, but we're keen to run it. It's a great series.
I spoke to Grant Flynn, he said you signed up, so well done.
Thank you.
Sam, so what's happening in the Dean Waddell camp?
I don't know. Have to ask Paul and Brian.
Bald and Brian Fraser, of course, we've mentioned him before. Do you know Brian? He's a good bastard, eh? He's a Maori like me, so I like him heaps.
Better than you.
What makes him better than me?
It's twice the man you are.
I know I've lost the
Moving on,
body.
anyway.
Yeah, okay. So, look, one person I've spoken about a little bit and sort of bagged out. I mean, he's a good fella and all that. And this young, what's the Gillon's old man's name? Bernie Gillon, of course. And we spoke to Bernie Gillon just a couple of days ago, and Bernie's got something pretty cool for Baypark. We've seen the two-seater sprint car that raced around Baypark for the last few years, and well, it was pretty slow and it took a lot of time to do bits and pieces. So Bernie decided he's going to revamp the Super Saloon, and what he's done is he's gone out, the sprint car, and he's revamped it. Cameraman's shaking his head at me. He's like, "You've made stuff up, Steve." And yeah, that's why you don't make faces like that, Mason. So anyway, we've got a sprint car coming to Baypark, and I've had a bit of a chat to Bernie Gillon about the sprint car, and at the same time, I talked to him about the possibility of getting one of you guys, the viewers of our DirtWorX show, a free ride in it. So let's hear what Bernie's got to say about that new toy. Alright guys, we're down here at the Flamecrusher headquarters with Bernie Gillon. Bernie, we've got a strange looking sprint car here, mate.
Yes, it's my little labour of love at the moment, just building up a two-seater sprint car. Trying to do a really nice job of it. It's going to be at Baypark. There's a bit of a twist to this two-seater. You drive it from the back, the passenger sits in the front. So if I do run out of talent, the passenger gets to the accident first.
Now you talk about talent. You've raced in the past in a number of different series, etc., like the sprint cars, and of course you're a circuit man.
Yep, yeah. I know most speedway people will hate me saying this, but I still believe that you only use the dirt if you aren't good enough to start the tar seal. So yeah. Which
of course goes against the end credit that I have, which is dirt's for racing and tar seals for getting there. As you said, one of the big things you've got, we've seen the different two-seater sprint cars that we've had in New Zealand, and of course the big difference between this one here and the previous ones is that the driver is in the back there. That's going to give some of the people that are going to get a chance to drive or ride in this thing here one hell of a experience.
Well, that's the whole plan, I want to get it as close to the real thing as possible. They haven't got a steering wheel or anything to hang on to, just a bar. But hey, we'll sit them on the front and give them a real good buzz. We've got a good motor in there. I've set it up with a starter motor and flex plate, so we don't have to be pushed. So we can just start it up and trundle off at any time we like. It's got, as I say, the motor's a good motor. It's a good strong motor, so they'll get a real buzz out of having a ride in that.
Now, of course, a lot of people don't actually realise that the sprint cars don't have starter motors, do they?
No, generally they don't. Generally you have to just push them, have a push truck to push them to fire them up, which is fine for the real deal, but because weight's not an issue here, I've put a few extra bits and pieces in it for safety and for ease of use, and one of them's a starter motor, so it doesn't matter whether we're at Baypark or Key or any track. They don't have to have push vehicles, we can just turn up and start it up.
Now, one of the big things people that are going to be out here watching what we're talking about now is how do they get a ride in this car?
Well, there's a couple of ways. At Baypark, if you turn up to Baypark and buy a program, each race night there'll be a lucky program. Whoever fronts up with a lucky program will be sitting in the car going for a ride that very night. Another way is you pay some money, and if you've got somebody you want to scare the pants off or give a thrill to, just grab a voucher and pay the money, and we'll take them for a blast.
Well, we're not going to talk about the very first person's name, but I know that the first person is going to be very well deserved to get their seat in the car.
Yes, she will. I won't say any more than that. She doesn't know it's happening yet, but I've already committed the first ride to a person, a lady, and I'm sure that she'll be talking about it for a long time after.
And of course, the boys here at DirtWorX will certainly have a camera on that one there. Now, Bernie, going further forward, you've
you've got the business here, Flamecrusher, and you're of course supplying a lot of parts and stuff to the wonderful speedway world.
Yes, yeah, I am, and things are going really great, and I'd like to thank all of the people that buy off me, and my customer base is growing daily. One of the things with this car is a lot of people don't realise that we do a lot of race car work here in the workshop. Other than the shock dyno and torsion bar dyno and all the other bits and pieces, we do repair race cars, we do a lot of fabrication, build a lot of diffs, and I wanted to show with this car what we can do, basically starting from a car from scratch, ground up, and we take a lot of pride in what we do, and hopefully it's reflected in how this car looks.
Well, I've seen a few of the panels on, and I know that we've just seen the tank before. Oh, I saw the tank earlier on. There's certainly, well, you can see yourself in it, can't you?
Yes, yeah, the paint job on the tank, and in fact it will be on the whole car, is quite stunning. Some people say it's too nice to put in the dirt, but hey, it's all about having pride in your work, and as I say, hopefully from people seeing what we can do here with pride, that rolls onto all of our customers' cars. So I see it as a great advertising tool.
So I guess we should probably touch briefly on the safety aspect. You know, there's a lot of safety built into this car here, but there's a lot of safety having to be built into other cars. But one area they forget is the actual safety of themselves.
Oh, exactly, and you know, Speedway New Zealand are making noises and taking steps in the right direction for driver safety. You know, with the driver head nets and mini stocks and midgets, and now they are looking at pressing, having better helmets, going away from motorcycle helmets and things like that. So driver safety is very, very important. It's the same in this car. You know, everybody that hops in will have the right fireproof overalls on, have good helmets on, good seat belts. Yeah, you can't underestimate the importance of safety.
It always makes me laugh when you can have a $50,000 engine, but you still want to put $400 on your head.
Yeah, well, some people even tighter than that. Some people put $100 on their head, you know, and it's just ludicrous. And unfortunately, we have lost too many really, really nice people in our sport over the last 4 or 5 years, and it's just got to stop. You know, people have to take responsibility and stop being so gung-ho about their personal safety.
It's a bit strange for Steve the Maori to actually be trying to look at something, or an aspect of Speedway that is quite concerning and need to have a little bit more professionalism in.
Yep, yeah, well, we all need a wake-up call. I know when I first got into the safety industry with Flamecrusher, I'd been racing internationally for professional teams for 20 years, overseas, here and in New Zealand, and I thought I knew it all. Well, hell, I knew nothing. And it was that shock to me, how little I knew, that I suppose has spurred me into wanting to spread the safety message to everybody.
Now, with this car here, you've done a lot of racing in the past, as we talked about earlier, with on the circuit, and you've of course campaigned a Sprintcar for a few years. Any aspiration of getting back in behind the driver's seat in anything, Bernie?
Oh, look, I'd love to get behind the driver's seat every Saturday night and Sunday and Saturday and Wednesday and any other day. Yeah, at some stage I definitely will. I'm really involved and really enjoying the new lease of life on Baypark. I have a lot to do with that, with Roger, the promoter there, and with Tauranga City Venues Limited. And my focus is to continue to work as hard as I can with Baypark, and that obviously flows also into the sport of Speedway. Great sport, and you know, they are taking steps in the right directions, but possibly not as quick as I'd like. So that's all my focus now.
Now, of course, we see you on the bike on a Saturday night, but you're also the president of the Bay Plenty Speedway Association, and I know the vice president's a prick, but you do a fairly good job with that. It's obviously a job that takes a fair bit of involvement.
Yeah, well, the vice president he's a strange character, is Steve someone, Steve Maori or something. But anyway, now look, it's you know, lots of people sit back and grizzle and bitch from their armchairs or from wherever they want to grizzle and bitch from and don't do anything. Well, that's not me. I'll much prefer to get off my arse and let my actions speak rather than the words. So, and yes, I am the president of the Bay Plenty Speedway Association. I'm also a director of the Tauranga City Venues Limited that owns the Baypark Speedway track. And yeah, you know, if I think things could be done better, I'll try and put my hand to it. Now, I don't succeed all the time. Like everybody, I make a dick of myself from time to time, but I'll never die wondering.
Exactly that, Bernie. Look, Bernie, thanks for having a chat to us today and telling us about this pretty interesting looking car. As you say, it's going to have all the go in the world, so I expect it to be about 800 plus horsepower like the standard ones. And look, hopefully if I talk nicely to Bernie, we might be able to maybe
get rid of one of those tickets to sit in this car here, but that's going to take some sweet talking. That's going to be after the show.
Yeah, well, hey, look, I'm happy to do that. All I'd ask is that you bolt a camera to the front of it so we can see the person's face.
Well, that's now done. All right, guys. Well, I'll be talking to you guys later on, and we'll be finding a reason and something to do to actually give away a ride in this amazing two-seater sprint car. Bernie, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Steve. All the very best.
What do you reckon you'd do, Dean, if you... I probably should ask, wait for the camera, it's probably on anyway, but if you were going to retire and you won the New Zealand...
So let's not talk about me,
Would
but
you
let's
retire on top, or...?
just... All right, let's not... They're just smack talking at the moment, and they should be worrying about what I've got to say, being the host of the DirtWorX Speedway show. Hey, what were you going to ask, Emma?
Put me on the spot. Well, Dean just said that he might retire this year, but I just was going to say, if you did win the New Zealand champs, would you defend it or would you settle on top?
Good question, Goat. Yeah, I suppose you don't know that until the night, do you? Or
No, you
that
don't.
time of the year. And
Tony Carbell did, but he's old.
oh yeah, he was due to retire when he. Yeah.
About time I got rid of him. Moving on.
Have you got 81 on the car, so you just have to rip the 8 off?
No.
Have you got 81 on the car, so you just have to rip the 8 off?
No.
No. Have you got 7 on the car because that's about the best you could ever finish from now on?
Fucking clown.
Look, Dean, you focus every year on the New Zealand champs. You're known to go to track championships and test your car because you want to be the best for the New Zealand champs. Why that focus?
Well, that's the ultimate race of the year. That's what everyone remembers. You know, you talk about it the previous season, who's the New Zealand champion. So yeah, that's the one you want to win.
Who was the New Zealand champion?
Good question. Dylan Nelson. Yeah.
Keep rolling that one there.
Yeah.
Flynn,
Yeah.
Hawke's Bay.
Oh, Steve Flynn.
yeah.
Steve did a great job on
Only a
the
little
weekend.
engine in that car there. Have you either of you thought about going and actually getting a smaller engine so you don't have to sit there and buzz those?
I have.
You have. You've got bloody Cardwell's engine. We know that's the biggest in the grid. Who's got a small? Excuse me. Sorry. Baypark Speedway. We all race at Baypark. Well, I don't because I'm not that good, but you know it's a great place. But you know what can we do to make the place better?
Oh, I think the place is running good and sweet. Track's better. I guess the time restraint thing is our biggest enemy. When we try and get the outside classes coming in, everything has to be rush, and some classes get forfeited for it. But
You hint at the mini stocks.
oh, everything does. You know, we super saloons do, and sometimes sprint cars do. So I think it's hard to pick on one thing because there's nothing that stands out. There's a whole lot of little things that are just getting polished, and I think we're heading in the right direction.
How are you finding things at Baypark?
Oh, it's been good. I never raced when Willie was there, so yeah.
And you're enjoying the mini stocks? It's a pretty good group. You've got Tracy Mowat, and I think Tracy and Tori are going to be your reps this year.
Yeah, they're really good, really helpful.
Are you seeing things on a positive note at the moment?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, the promotion in place at the moment are doing a very positive job. They're good people, you know, so they want to do the best thing by the racers. I suppose that's really important. That they're green, so they're learning on the way, but they're certainly happy to learn and happy to take feedback. Yeah, Roger's, you know, a knowledgeable guy, but it's like anything. If you came to fill the bananas, Steve, you'd struggle. But in the produce department, so yeah, it takes you a while to get used to it and know what to do.
Talking about the produce department, you know, people see the Dean Waddell and they go, hey, this guy's a money bags, you know, blah, blah, blah. But you actually do a great deal for the community. I know that you sort of do certainly give a lot. You've helped me out myself with what we're doing here in the past, as well as you will in the future. But you do a lot with the likes of Waipuna Hospice, I believe, and a few other places like that.
Yeah, no, we're real proud of that. You know, like it's great to be in a successful business, but it's also you know, very makes you feel good to be able to be in a position to support local organisations, and as you know, there's a lot of people out there that need support, and it's kind of like the racing community. That's why I admire the Speedway people so much, because you know 90% of the guys there on a Saturday night work their ass off to get there, and their families make a lot of sacrifice. And that's the great thing about the sport, you know, they're passionate and they put a lot in to be there, and that's why you get so much enthusiasm and arguments, and it produces some of the ugly side of Speedway, but it's because everyone puts so much in to get there.
Why did you come back? You know, you spent a couple of years off and then sort of, wow, I've got this bug again to come back and go racing in the Super Saloon. Unfinished business?
Not unfinished business. Kind of, we had some ideas around suspension setup, which you kind of look at over the years and you think that'd work, but you don't ever want to take any risk out and be uncompetitive, so you don't do it. So the opportunity to do some work with Brian around the Phantom chassis and develop some new stuff was really appealing. And obviously, you know, Sam being there from zero and nagging me all the time about going racing, I figured I was going to be there anyway, so we might as well be in the seat.
So Sam, was there a bit of nagging to Dad, saying, Dad, you know, like, move over, old man, it's time for, like, young talent to come through and shine?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely?
Yep.
You really think you could take that? I mean, that's probably quite a big seat that Dad's got.
Yeah. I put some few cushions in.
Now, of course, you raced...
Literally and physically.
So, of course, like, Dean, you raced a Harris car. I think the only thing Harris in your car now is a seat, is that right?
Yeah, no, I got the Harris flash seat, yep, no. And
You've got a bit of safety device. I've seen you wearing all those, you know, blingy thingies that you guys wear. I don't know if it's a Hans, but it looks fancy.
oh, you got to. It's all part of the deal. You got to make. You know, we get race fast, and to be there and give it a whole lot, you got to know that you got the right gear on.
How much of that had to do with grazing your head on the terracotta that?
I've never picked up the helmet, Steve. You know, like the old. I forget the guy's name, but he's got my helmet in his garage, and he said it's split in half, and I've never been brave enough to go around and get it because I kind of
I did that once.
I remember getting out of hospital and walking into the supermarket after 2 days, and I walked in and it was a total haze, and the bananas were empty, but I could not even see that, and that just shows you how. So I just had to go straight home to bed.
Like, you've got quite a few staff, you know. This guy's probably got 500-600 staff. What are the guys in the meat section going to be thinking? Like Ray Mildenhall in the meat section going to be thinking about you talking so positively about just the produce?
No, well, they know I'm passionate about butchery as well. It's just that produce is our first point of entry, and bananas are where it's at these days.
They're high in something. What are they high in, you know? High as a kite? No?
Sugar, mate. Sugar.
You know what I love about Dean is whenever you, and Bald, I'm looking at you now, whenever you want to ask Dean something or something goes wrong, I'm just a grocer. Easy answer, isn't it? Gets you off the hook every time, don't you reckon?
What I like about, like, Dean, we've spoken about the possibility of you retiring through age, etc. And you said if you won the New Zealand's, would you defend it? We've spoken about that, but I think it's probably if you won the GP, because that's something like none of you have ever won.
Who would want to win the GP?
GP sucks.
It's a second-hand race.
Yeah, exactly. Sure it is, because we can't win the bastard, that's why.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NZ in the saloon cars. What's it going to take for Baypark to actually get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the super saloons?
I'll give you a bit of a tip, Steve. There's been a lot of hype around the Hypermac in the last few years, and just quietly behind the scenes, me and Goat are working together. It's kind of a two race team, even though we're from different chassis manufacturers. There's a lot of information sharing, a lot of computer analysis going on. The bananas are funding it.
Of course.
Bonita
Is it potassium?
bananas, wasn't it?
Are they high in potassium? Does somebody know that? Bald.
Yeah.
What are bananas? Potassium.
High in potassium and they just slow release
My son's
energy.
wasn't allowed to have
Shut up, I'm
terminate.
talking. So when you're racing, it's just slow release and you're just so powerful and behind the wheel, where all these other clowns go and blow their...
Well, I've seen how much you've been packing in the way of potassium then. That's the first time I've come. Look, Marlin.
Yeah?
Marlin. You ever caught a black?
No.
Going to?
Love to.
Here you go, right here. I got him!
Yeah.
You can't catch a black, we run too fast. So look, biggest fish you caught?
Marlin?
Yeah, and do you remember how many kgs it weighed?
No, 110.
Really?
Pretty small, eh?
Sam was telling me that the snapper he caught was like 150.
Are you sure?
He said he caught a
112, I think it was.
he said he caught a 55 kg wasn't a marlin, what do you call those ones?
Yellowfin?
No, they've got a little flappy thing down the bottom, but they've got a body on top. Mermaid.
He told you he wasn't interested in girls.
Okay. Well, look, I think it's probably time. You know, I said, look, let's do like maybe half an hour or something. But Dean Waddell's so much. You know, he's so cool to interview. He's got so much to say. Unlike you, with interesting stuff.
I reckon that Dean came out of retirement because he was no marlin left in the sea. It wasn't tag and release.
That was mowers. It was mowers, and they were on land goat. Okay, they tasted good. They're like the white man. What's better than spitting on a white man? Having a white man on a spit. Oh, that's really mean. I'm sorry. That's very politically incorrect of me.
Yeah. Do you want to wrap the show up or what?
I guess we could. Look, Sam. So, what's the plan of attack this season, buddy? What are you going to do?
I just go out there and win as many races as I can.
You gonna feed anyone a right rear?
No.
You ever feed anyone a right rear?
No.
Would you go around the outside of them?
Yep.
I wouldn't feed them right to rear unless I absolutely had to.
So Dean would go around the outside. Have you ever been down on someone to undertake them?
I'm sure
Look, that was
Not a good idea. That's not a
I
good
thought this was a speedway show.
I'm sorry.
That's Ian Burson's question.
I'm
Have you
sorry.
been down on someone?
Have you ever been down on someone? Sorry, I asked that to Ian Burson. I said I'd get somebody else on that one day. He's a pretty boy, Ian.
Yeah.
Look, I think we should wrap this stuff up. So we're going to say thank you to the 81M, the Shape and Spray car. Dean Waddell, thanks for coming along.
No worries.
Of course, Sammy, good luck in that JWL Investments, one of Dad's like 50 or 60 companies that he owns. So good luck this season, mate. And don't smash Marshy too much because he's a big boy. As for you, Goat, nice T-shirt. How much are they?
$30. Come and see us at the track. We might even do a discount if you buy them bulk.
Bulk, that's what you've done lately, eh? Sammy said that you and Dad should, and his dad should maybe get together and go mountain biking. You both need it.
I already am. I've been for one
So
today.
is Dad. Maybe you should get together. Lose a bit more left weight.
Share more than just car secrets.
Yeah, of course. Stop it. That's no, I won't even go there. All right, guys. Look, thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry. You know, we love to trash talk here in the wonderful world of DirtWorX, but don't forget, when it all comes down to it, dirt's for racing and tar seals for getting there. I'm Steve the Mary. Have a good night.